In the mountains of North Carolina, there is a town called Hot Springs. In this case, there is truth in advertising.
Being able to soak in nature, in the hot springs, the natural waters, it's such a gift for the body.
People can soak in the mineral waters at the Hot Springs Resort and Spa.
There's nothing else like it in the world. You can't go and have this view and this kind of quiet anywhere else but here.
There's a lot to like about the experience.
The main thing about this place is there's no distraction, and it's just peaceful and quiet and just alone time and get away from kids and work.
You're out here in beautiful nature along where the rivers meet.
It's just quiet. All you hear is the water. It's just awesome.
The resort has a total of 18 tubs into which the hot water is pumped.
This is a very special place in North Carolina. The natural hot mineral water is fantastic.
Ron West and his wife Sandy manage the resort. There are numerous springs in the vicinity, but the one that serves as the main source these days is called the Hot Hole. It was discovered just recently in the 1990s.
Comes out of the ground at 108 degrees, loses about 6 degrees on the trip over here. In the tub's about 102.
While the Hot Hole is a relatively new find, the hot springs overall have been known for centuries. They were found in 1778.
When the springs were first discovered by the settlers and have been used ever since. We are very rare in the southeast. There are only a couple of what you would say hot springs, but we are actually the only hot springs in the entire state of North Carolina.
Locals have long been drawn to the springs, but whenever outsiders find out about a spot such as this, they are bound to visit too.
It's not uncommon to get guests from Germany, England, Japan. It's truly a world-famous resort.
I think they keep coming here year after year because we have naturally what a lot of spas try to reproduce.
That's the key. Hot tubs can exist anywhere. Just add water, treat it, and heat it up, and it can be enjoyed. It's different when the water doesn't have to be heated or treated.
Any hot tub that's used away from here has to be treated with chlorine and such. And this water's not. It's naturally pure, no man-made impurities in our water. It's just a fabulous water.
There's a bubbliness to it. There's a natural quality that you can kind of tell that there's some mineral activity in there.
It feels really soft on the skin, and it's a little bubbly, a little effervescent too. So it's almost like slipping into champagne or just a little bit.
It has a natural carbonation to the water. No need to take a shower after you get out of it. You really want that mineral water to stay on your skin.
That in itself would be enough to draw a crowd. The resort welcomes more than 50,000 individuals each year. The historical aspect, though, and the fact that people have soaked here since the 1700s, adds another facet.
It is amazing the number of people that come here because they had family members that visited here years ago, family members that worked here. The historical connections are amazing.
Yeah, the history has a large appeal.
For decades, the hot springs were served by a series of grand hotels, catering to the thousands of visitors.
We've had a history of fabulous hotels here at the resort.
Each of those hotels burned to the ground. There are remnants of the last brick structure on the property today, and there are no plans to remove them.
We wanted to preserve part of history at the resort and not demolish the last footprint of the last hotel, just as a reminder of what was here.
I think anyone that chooses to live and work in Madison County, and especially Hot Springs, feels a real desire to preserve as much of that history as we can.
Maybe even more impressive is the old bathhouse. It stands on the property essentially intact, giving an idea of how the springs were enjoyed for generations.
It was established in the 1800s and actually used up until the 1960s. The water actually came up through the floor of the old bathhouse, and traditionally that water has been about 99 degrees. It was 16 marble-lined tubs, about 5 feet deep. There was a set of marble steps that went down into each tub.
Any thoughts about resurrecting the bathhouse and opening it to the public once more are dismissed because of where the building is situated.
The old bathhouse is certainly a historical site worth preserving, but unfortunately it's in a floodplain.
Some who come to soak in the water either remember the bathhouse or have heard stories about it from relatives. It provides a nice little connection to the past.
I guess just knowing my ancestors were here, you know, it just, I enjoy coming.
Some contend that the water not only feels good, but has recuperative or healing powers. That is not a feature, though, that owners or managers set out to promote.
A lot of folks say that it has healing properties. I'm not sure about that, but I am sure that it makes you feel great after an hour soak in the hot tubs.
And sometimes, just that is enough.
I feel it's important to take care of yourself. So coming here is part of what I do for myself.